Warning: the following video presentation contains scenes of an extremely delicious nature. Failure to eat first or bring a snack to consume during the program could result in wanting to lick the screen or place an obscenely large Uber Eats order. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
Can you hear me now? There we go. We have levels.
Check.
Check, baby. Check, baby.
Yep.
2, 3.
Narp.
Okay. We're good. Yarp.
Nice.
So, welcome everybody. Let's start over again since nobody could hear me. Alistair, welcome. Glad to have you here. Lumpy Pickle, thank you so much. And syllabic acronyms, welcome. Avocado Green KitchenAid is here too. Yes, we have. Thank you for spoiling it, Avocado Green KitchenAid. So yeah, it's been a bit of a day. I am incredibly excited for today because just under an hour ago, the Kyushu show started. First bout right out of the gate was amazing. Oh my goodness. I feel bad for the guy that lost, because he literally went flying out of the ring. It was amazing. But I felt bad for the guy, because it's like, I don't think he even got off the starting line. It was just, the other guy just nailed him, and he flew. Oh, it looked painful, but it was amazing.
Bit of a limp.
Yes. Not the best part. But nonetheless, yeah. It was an absolute train wreck. He just got run over. It's kind of amazing. But yeah, so I've had a bit of a day. Went out to my car this morning to go to work.
Wait, this is the conversation.
Oh.
Because I was looking at this time. We live in a safe neighborhood, and I asked
and it's been super safe ever since we moved here.
We're going to be gone. No one's going to be home for about 4 hours. Say, should I lock the front door? Because sometimes we don't. He walks out the door.
Because it's been...
Goodbye. I love you.
Yep.
He walks out the door. And then he comes back in. And what do you say?
So my car's been broken into.
No, that's not what you said. You said, yes, lock the front door.
Oh, that's right.
My car's been broken into.
That's right. Yes, lock the front door. My car's been broken into.
No worries. It's nothing.
Yeah, so...
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not. Thankfully, nothing was actually broken. However, what was taken was a couple of bucks in change.
Ooh.
They took my
the
work
hero.
gloves. Hey, the hero! Welcome, buddy. And then they nabbed my prescription glasses.
Which sucks to be them, because they're prescription!
Their prescription. Yeah, my car got
Sucker!
broken into last night, sitting in our driveway.
In all fairness, the car was unlocked.
This is true. And to be fair, I don't think I've locked my car in our driveway for the last
since we've lived here.
Since we've lived here. The neighborhood has been always super quiet and super safe without any issues. So it's just really bizarre that this kind of happened. When I came out to the car and looked in, I'm like, that's weird. The glove box was open. It clearly had been gone through.
They did the courtesy of closing the door.
They did. They closed the door. Not all the way, but they did close it. They went through the center console and kind of left the contents strewn about. But there was nothing in there. I didn't really have anything of value in the car. I was surprised the stereo head unit was still there, but they probably figured it was too much work to take it out.
Yeah,
but
the big item was...
Yeah, the big item was my sunglasses.
Just the glasses.
And I live in those things because I tend to have sensitive eyes when it comes to light. And so they were, prescription polarized lens glasses. So...
Yeah, so if the phone rings, it's the police department.
The fuzz is calling, so
the fuzz
she can file a report. But it was just like, I needed to go to work. And yeah, I didn't even realize that my gloves had been taken until I was almost at work. Because, I mean, the stuff that gets donated isn't exactly the cleanest. And so I wear gloves to protect my hands, so I'm not having to wash them a bajillion times. So that was kind of a bummer. However, about a half hour or so into me being there and starting to sort through some of the stuff, there was a pair of work gloves that were just my size that had been donated, and mine now.
Yeah, they're really good gloves too.
Yeah.
They're like junk.
Yeah, they've got like knuckle protection on them and stuff. So,
the Lord provides.
Lord provides. So, hey, we're pretty happy about that. But
anyways,
kind of put a little bit of a damper on the day because I woke up excited for tonight for the tournament and for Chanko Nabe and just everything.
The first bout did not disappoint.
No, it didn't. It was pretty exciting. But so all the lower divisions are, kind of doing their thing. Probably won't hit Division 2 until about 10 o'clock Pacific.
Maybe 10:30. Division 2 is the fun division.
Division 2 is where it gets fun because then that's where we can gamble with channel points. And it's always a good time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we lose all of our salt.
No, not lost all my... No, that's not true.
I have in fact...
lost.
Yeah, exactly. I have lost all my salt but I think that was in like the first boss show that we were watching.
It's really fun.
Not anymore. I'm a little bit more conservative.
Not that we usually gamble, but...
But I will very typically bet against Enho, which is normally the chat favorite in Division 2.
I do wait to see what the betting
rates will be. You kind of wait to see how the betting goes before kind of placing it, because sometimes if it's really lopsided, then you're like, okay, you know what, I'll put like a couple of grand on the underdog just in case.
Yeah.
And it's paid off a few times.
Yeah.
It is paid off a few times. So it's a good time.
Yeah. Let's get food going.
At any rate, food time. All right, so the recipe for today, here's what's going on. Back in October, the Japan Sumo Association held a fan festival, which they haven't held in like the last few years. I want to say it's been like 5 or 6 years since they've held it. And one of the things that they did was they had a number of the stables make their signature Chanko Nabe, their sumo stew, and then there would be like a crowd voting, and the winner would be crowned, the favorite of it. So there was a video posted on their official YouTube channel, which is linked in that recipe link that I posted on the Discord. I've linked where the written recipe kind of is, as well as the video, because they differ a little bit. The written recipe, it's all made by the same guy. It is Kiribiyama, I think it is. Nope, that's not it. Let's scroll up. Kirimaru. Yeah, that's who it is. Kirimaru. So this is the guy that makes it all the time for the table. And he even says in the video, I was able to kind of work out that his dream becomes Yokozuna of Chanko Nabe. And so he's, kind of working it. In the recipe, it has a couple of things that are different than what he's doing in the video. Specifically, the amount of carrot to daikon. If you look at the recipe, it's like a half sort of the amount, but if you look in the video, it looks like it's about equal amount. And so I've adjusted it accordingly to be more in line with the video. The other thing that is different is in the written recipe, it uses bok choy, whereas in the video, it's they use garlic chives and spinach. So that's what I've kind of gone with for this. Audio is out just a little bit. Well, bitrate looks good. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, let me... you can blame me for that. Oh! Alistair's King. I just saw that.
Good to know.
Good to know. So.
There's a couple of people that bet gigantic.
Yeah, there's a couple of folks that will wreck the bet sometimes, but that's okay.
It works in our favor because it's so high on
this
one.
Is true.
I'm like, I'll throw 1,000 salt down and then
not?
make 12,000 salt.
So, anyways, to get to prepping for all of this, get the vegetation all cut up and ready to go. I've got thinly sliced pork belly, but I also picked up some pork shoulder that I had cubed to potentially slice up to also add to it if we wanted to. So I've got that going on. And then once we get everything prepped, we'll put it together and go to town. Bowser Big Bean Burrito. Hey,
Yay!
welcome.
I love burritos.
So that's kind of the plan. At the moment, the one thing at least that I have on the ingredients list for the recipe that I was unable to get was the Tokyo Negi, which are the long green onions. Unfortunately, that's just how scheduling and everything else worked out. So I do have some scallions that the white parts are white and light green are longer, and so I've already trimmed, washed, and weighed these, and so this is about kind of the amount that we need, about 80 grams or so. There, now that I'm actually back in camera view. So we'll slice these into 2-inch chunks. These are the garlic chives that I picked up, a whole bunch, but it's about kind of in line with the video. And so for these, all we got to do is cut them into what appear to be about 2-inch segments in the YouTube video. Which, if you haven't seen YouTube video. I really, really suggest you watch it. I don't recall there being any auto-generated subtitles, but just watch it because it's pretty funny. They have a good time, and their happy personalities come out in it. It's at least at the end of the recipe that I post. I mentioned like striking a bodybuilder pose, like a big smile, and it seems kind of odd, but you'll totally watch the YouTube video. Man, it's really funny. At least it is to me. Okay, got the chai. Now the Tokyo Negi in the video, they have them sliced kind of the bias, and it's 2-inch length. So.
I have a question.
Yes, dear.
Is this kind of like the Korean stew where it looks just as pretty when you put it in the pan?
Kind of.
Just curious.
You would line things up and make them look all pretty. It's funny in watching them. It's a little like is hey, it's, make it look all nice and everything, but part of it just like get it in there and mix it up.
Just shove it in our mouth.
Just shove it in our mouth holes. Okay. Next up, onion. The recipe. The written recipe version has pictured a yellow onion, but if you watch the video, it appears that using a white onion.
What's the difference?
It's going to be a slight flavor difference, but it makes sense that he's using white onion since the white onion variety tends to be at least my understanding is it's common like onion that you find at the market. So like here in the US, for instance, the Spanish or yellow onions are the most common ones. But like in Mexico, for instance, the white variety is going to be a common one. They have the other varieties too, but it's just what's the most common. And these I'm gonna slice the core out, and then we're gonna do this guy in a radial pattern. And having weighed the onion out, and this is about what I have written down, which is, where is it? 184 grams, which is an oddly specific number. And I want to say it's because the recipe that was written out, I believe, was scaled down from a larger recipe, which is why when they figured it out, did the math, that's why it's like 184 grams. I'm like, that's an oddly specific number. Normally you would expect a somewhat round number like 125 or 350 or something like that, not 184. You know what I mean? So, anyways. All right.
How is your 2 days going? Or Sunday? Hey, Scott Connor's here.
Hey, Scott Connor, how's it going, buddy?
Buenos nachos. Kay says.
That's true.
It's a TARDIS? Is that right? Not.
Buenos noches.
That's it. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Alright. I feel Bonsai's voice in my... Hey, DK, you've got a board scraper.
Use it.
Okay. So we've got that stuff done. Next up...
Sorry, Pickle. 5
Pickled
a.m.
carrot. Who had a nightmare?
Oh, Lumpy Pickle.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
That's right, bony nacho. And the night without cheese.
That's not nachos. That's just chips with stuff. Okay. Carrot. So again, the written versus video differ a little bit. So the carrot and icon in the video, when one of the pieces that are there, looks like he's used a pretty large carrot, kind of like the base of this one, which is why I wrote in the recipe thinly sliced radial quarters, so it looks a bit like this. So you have, you know, these quarters, and we're going to slice them thin. And because this one we'll probably put in a quarter too, but because this section was a little nowhere near as wide, I just left it as halves. I mean, they'll still eat exactly the same.
Delicious. What? Well, chip do you prefer to use for making nachos?
Are you asking me or are you asking chat?
I'm asking you, my love.
Oh, me?
Yes. And yay, the Cooker Class Pour. Welcome.
Who's here?
Cooker Class Pour.
Hey, Cooking Class 4, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Audio sounds like you may be just on the edge of your wireless, just clipping a syllable out here and there, and hello there, new chefy friend. Which is weird because my transmitter's in my pocket and the base is literally like 2-3 feet away. So it's kind of weird.
With no sound at the beginning.
Yeah, there was an issue with no sound at the beginning. But everything seems to be hooked up. And so hopefully it's not totally clipping and everything else. So
what do you like to cook? The Cooking Class Pour. Oh, were you the one that we raided into the other day that had the Power Ranger suit on, I think? Maybe?
No, that was a different dude.
Person. Sorry, you're way cooler, of course, than that person.
Alright, so carrot.
Hey, Bonsai Merlin!
Hey, Bonsai's here. What's going on, sister from another mister?
And Shelizabeth.
Hey, Shelizabeth, how you doing? Hopefully you were able to partake in some of the yummy deliciousness that Bonsai made last night.
Yeah, how often do you get to eat her food? Yesterday was a tough day, and by the time I got home, Bonsai, I just needed to be alone, you know? You have those days like, just leave me alone, I need silence. By the time I was ready, you were done.
Chunk of daikon here that I just peeled up. Came from a much larger piece, but I didn't need as much. There we go.
Oh, very cool. The Cooking Class 4 is new to Twitch. Welcome. We will be sure to go check
right
you
on.
out. And but he's been a pro chef for 20 years.
Really?
Since maybe tell me if I'm supposed to call you something else. Ice cream, Italian, and Latin foods. Nice.
Really?
In our intro video, DK here does the frozen ice cream explosion.
It's true. And I mean, since we've got some new friends who've kind of rolled in and maybe have never seen the intro before, I'm going to run my quick intro video, which is like a minute or so. I'm just chopping up daikon, and then I've got Napa cabbage that I need to chunk up, which is pretty boring to watch me do. So I'll play the intro and then we'll come back and continue talking about all that stuff. Yeah, sublimating dry ice is no joke. Let's run the short intro.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today.
There it is. The explosion.
DK's making a snack
The wife to the rescue.
It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
Mike's still on? Are we hot?
Yes.
Are we hot? Okay, good. Happy Saturday. I don't want to mess up my song. Who's the boy? There's the liquid sex.
Back. So anyways, I've got a head of Napa cabbage here. This is before trimming, just over 500 grams, which is what the recipe specs. It's a lot of Napa cabbage. I love how the recipe, the way that it was written. Oh yeah, this will feed like 3 people. I'm like, I think these are like 3 stable mates that's going to end up feeding.
Yeah. I can't eat a
But thankfully, Napa cabbage cooks down and is super tasty in there, so I'm pretty happy. The recipe that I posted and wrote up, I kind of talk about like the order with which things are added and kind of what's done, and that was based purely off of the video and watching Kirimaru.
Pickle's asking.
Pickle making a funny.
He's asking, is it from Napa? If I go up there, will it be roaming herds of Napa cabbage?
Could be.
Yes.
It could be.
If you're not careful, they form little gangs.
It's true.
The cooking class poor Bonsai Merling is like we not that long ago, but I feel like her and DK related. Like,
she's my sister from another mister.
Yeah.
It's really kind of frightening.
Yeah, like I honestly
and totally amazing at the exact same time.
Yeah, I honestly thought DK was made from a unique mold, and no one else on the planet was made from that same mold until we met Bonsai. Like,
yeah,
you guys, so similar.
We raided into her one night because she was making Canadian Thanksgiving food stuff, and I'm like, hey, this sounds really interesting. And hung out and, was kind of watching her do her thing. And then she like low-key flexed. Oh yeah, I made this laminated dough for croissants. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you what?
Furious Green, welcome. First time chat.
Hey, Furious Green, what's going on?
Correct in saying for authentic experience, you need to have a hard workout for hours before this.
This is true. You do. And thankfully, there's a lot of videos of how to go about having a proper.
I think I practice intro.
Well, well, there's that too. But the what is it? The Shinko is what it's called. The leg lift and everything. That's yeah.
That's
Hard work,
not
lots
easy.
of Chanko take a nap. Exactly. See, they know what's up. That's what's best in life. Having a hard workout, eating Chanko Nabe, taking a nap. I mean, don't get me wrong. Conan, had his thing, but I think the Shiko, that's it. I think the sumo wrestlers, have figured out. Okay.
Plus, they have yummy food.
This is true. All right. Spinach.
I love how we're both in slippies. It's just that kind of a day.
Yeah, it's been that kind of day.
It's a slippy kind of day.
So, picked up this spinach. I triple washed it because it's spinach. And that just means that, it is super sandy. I can just pluck that.
What kind of, is this just regular spinach?
Yeah, this is just regular spinach. It's put it as a bunch, because at least from watching the video again, it appeared that the spinach that was used was clearly on the older side because it was big leaves. It wasn't like, the bagged baby spinach that one can purchase. So I am trimming the little root. But I triple wash these guys in order to get as much of the sand out as possible.
Where did you buy the spinach? And the rest of the
I
produce?
probably picked it up down the hill. I'm pretty sure that's where I got it.
Winco.
Yeah.
Well, Scott Connor can't do cooked spinach. I'm like, no, you're not going to eat this meal.
Well, I can honestly say that I thought it was an interesting addition. Because I would have expected... I honestly did not expect spinach in this recipe. Because I can't say it's like the most common of ingredients from of a lot of Japanese cuisine. Never there, but I can't say really prolific. I would have expected to have been used. So, stuff in half. Kind of make it a little bit more bite-sized, but use stems and all.
Where'd you get the rest of the vegetation?
Let's see. The garlic chives I picked up in Portland. The white onion, Winco. I think the carrot.
By Portland, you mean like H-Mart, the Asian market?
Yeah, one of the Asian markets in Portland. Same with the daikon.
We're in the Pacific Northwest.
We're in the Portland metro area because we don't live in Portland proper, but we're close enough to where we're considered part of the metro. Think like suburbs kind of thing. Okay. Spinach, done. I think the only other vegetation that needs to be prepped is the mushrooms. I've got my handwritten notes underneath here. That's what I'm looking at. So the only other things that need to be prepped are the mushrooms. And I've got a pack of enokis here that need to slice.
Scott Connor wants to see the Japanese garden.
Yeah, the Japanese garden in Portland's amazing.
It's incredible. I will say the Chinese garden significantly smaller, but when I walked into that, I thought I walked into China. It was...
Yeah, you honestly, greatest of condition. You do the best you can with what you got. So there's that. So
we did take Pickle to Powell's.
We did. We had a good time in Powell's.
Yeah. I don't think he believed me when I said it's a city block.
And then the shimeji.
We'll just plan a trip, Scott. We'll feed you while you're here. The cooking passport, where are you from? Part of the world-ish.
And it's okay to say hemisphere.
Yeah. Let's narrow it down to a continent.
You need to dox yourself.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's...
Not looking for your address.
Yeah.
Do it, Scott. I dare you to come out. We make pretty decent hosts.
You're triple dog daring Scott Connor. All right. So I'm just kind of breaking them up. Because they're going to end up breaking up more in the soup. So, okay. Mushrooms done. Spinach done. Vegetation done. Let's move this out of the way. Actually, I am going to need it, so I'll just keep it handy. We'll move that off to the side. Move this off to the side. So, other things that go into it. I've got akamiso here, which is presumably the type of miso that's used in this, as best as I can tell. Oh, Powell's is the world's 22 Acacia Avenue. Yeah, that makes sense. And 9 grams of garlic powder. So we've got this handy.
Yeah, Bonsai Powell's is the world's largest bookstore.
Yeah, it's the world's largest bookstore. It's literally like a couple of city blocks. It's insane.
Yeah.
We've got... I actually had to double check to make sure because even though I had a bottle, I had to double check it. But this is Japanese light soy sauce, aka uzukuchi. USU, sorry. Usukuchi. Which tends to be... It's slightly lighter in color, but also, in my experience, tends to be a little bit on the saltier side. And then we've got some mirin here, but it's kind of at the end, and if we don't have enough, that's okay. I've got sake to make up the difference. Oh, and the last thing that we need, I can move this out. Or second to last thing, I should say.
Yeah, Powell's, as they grew, they would move into other buildings, and so the levels aren't perfectly level. It's all these different levels.
It's pretty crazy.
And each level's a color, and each color's a type of book. They have a section that's just super old books that you need to wait your turn to get
rare
into.
Books collection. Okay, so this...
Yeah, when you come visit, we'll take you.
This giant textured thing is actually kind of a grinder / mortar and pestle. This giant thing right now, if you were to try to purchase it at anywhere, would be, I don't know, probably $100, $150, maybe $200 kind of thing. I bought this at a used restaurant supply place for $10.
Yeah, I don't think they knew what they had.
I don't think they knew what they had because they would go into restaurants that were closing down and like buy out their equipment kind of in bulk. And there was at least one Japanese, well, it's my Chanko bowl basically. But
what is the bowl though? What's it actually used for?
It's called uribachi, and it's used for grinding stuff. Like when we did okonomiyaki, and I had yam, we grated in this bowl. What the textured bottom is for. The finishing seasoning for this particular Chanko Nabe recipe is ground toasted seeds. Now they use just a pre-ground pack, but I'm like, I've got this deal. I've got toasted sesame seeds. Why not, grind my own? Now, sadly, I could not find the wooden mortar that one normally used with this. I've got this one that
it's
has...
around.
Yeah, it's around. I just couldn't find it. But, what? Change. There we go. So, this guy by just, like a normal mortar and pestle, but it grates it down. I'm like kind of particular one because it's porcelain and I want to wear down the bowl.
I think for this circumstance, it's fine.
I would be lying if I said
force. You can get pestilence that way.
It's true. I honestly truly hope that Kirimaru, the gentleman that makes the Chanko Nabe for the sumo stable, I would love if he saw this video and saw that, some big old white guy on the side of the world is making his Chanko, to know that, we love sumo, we love Chanko Nabe, and I am excited to make and eat this. So I just got to make sure that when I go to publish the VOD on YouTube that I use the appropriate tags in Japanese. So maybe somewhere we'll pass it along to him. Just started the I think I don't recall. He either fought today or he's fighting tomorrow. I don't recall off the top of my head. I think they're witty. Oh, Elizabeth, call Scott Connors the Punisher because he is the ultimate king of puns.
Yeah.
There is none higher. So this portion's taking a little while, but so like these sesame seeds, I just purchased in the bulk section at Winco, toasted them myself, and now we're grinding them. So I think he would appreciate this and like what I'm doing, although he'd probably be cringing at the fact that I'm using a porcelain pestle in this. Go, man.
Could you use like a spice grinder?
You could, but I have this. It's Japanese. We're making Chanko Nabe. I mean, it just feels appropriate. It feels like this is.
I agree. I was just.
This is the way it should be done. All right. There we go. Cool. Put that up in my MIDI pestle. And, oh, that's right. Get my little itty bitty brush here.
Fun note. If he wants to hide something from me, he puts it up really high. And if I want to hide something from him, I put it down really low.
This is true. This is very, very true.
So we were looking for the actual grinder thingy. And I was like, is that it up there? Well, no. Well,
Nope, that's
from
not
this
it.
angle, I can hardly tell.
I think I need a stiffer brush.
Yeah, that brush is for the garlic plate.
Yes, it is. But it was the only brush that I had handy.
I'm above average by a half an inch. I have, I'm 5'4". You're what, 6? He claims he's 6'3". I think he's 6'4".
All right, let's grab a slightly different brush because this one is way underpowered.
Hey. Oh,
That's if there's one in here.
not in the drawer underneath it.
Oh, wait. I found a little one. It's bigger than the one I was just using.
That's good.
So it's an improvement. Ta-da!
"'Tis what thy maiden uttered."
Was that lumpy?
Yeah.
That's very much a lumpyism.
We have a lumpyism and Scott's puns.
Now, knowing that I wasn't going to get everything out of here, I actually, when I weighed out the sesame seeds earlier, so in the video, the bag that he sprinkles onto the top at the very end says 55 grams. So I weighed out, I think it was like 60.
How does one clean it?
Water and stuff. Okay. Yeah, this is the part that's taking the longest. That's hilarious. Okay.
I was like, you could have set that aside and I could have done it.
True.
But,
At this point, I'm happy with the amount of sesame seeds that we yielded from that. That are all ground up. It looks fantastic. And I'm going to put this back here on the counter. Hopefully we don't accidentally knock it off.
There's meat in this.
Yes, there is. In
Mama
fact,
Weso's asking.
So I have some packs of thinly sliced pork belly, but I bought a piece of pork shoulder that was really nicely marbled that I thought would work really well in its stead in the event that I wasn't able to get a hold of the thinly sliced belly.
We have a red, regular size cutting board. And I was like, you shrink this one down. I'm like, oh, that's your cutting board.
It is. It is the board that I would normally use for cutting.
Do that.
Yes, junk in the dishwasher. So, there's a piece of pork shoulder that I portioned up and then froze individually, specifically to slice to go into this. And now that let's use a different knife. I'll put that off to the side.
I thought I washed them all.
So
this is his slicer made by
Forstner,
yeah. Brand, and it's fairly inexpensive.
Yeah. Although, interestingly enough, I was recently looking at their 10-inch chef's knife, and I was surprised that I think they wanted like $60 or $70 on Amazon, which I thought was kind
Hey,
of.
mostly quiet, Tat.
Hey, what's going on, Mostly Quiet Tat? Thank you. I've been
Commented
practicing
on your-
a little bit.
Yeah. He's spent many time working on knife skills.
It's true. We will use this as well as some of the pre-sliced pork belly that I picked up.
I pickled up ceramic cooking knives. We actually had one for a while. Wait,
I think I still
Still.
do. I have a couple of issues with ceramic knives. Specifically, I mean, their label is like never needing to be sharpened. Well, that's not entirely true. The biggest problem is that if in the event you actually need to get them sharpened, you actually have to send them back to the company in order to put them on the right kind of grinder in order to sharpen them. And it's just, they're brittle, so the blades can easily snap, and they tend to be, you know, kind of pricey. Now at the end here, we're, you know, slices aren't quite as nice, but
that's okay.
going in a stew, so it'll be fine. I mean, if I had a super cool like deli slicer, that would be one thing.
On the list.
It is on the list. So, ah.
Oh, good. It's warmed up for you, Bonsai, because that was cold. It's gotten about 10 degrees warmer here, too.
Yeah, so that's getting kind of difficult to slice thinly. So I'm kind of thinking, you know what? Let's, well, I can do that. And yeah, his last bits aren't the prettiest, but that's okay. All right, so we got a chunk of meat there. I'm going to grab a pack of the belly. Ta-da! Look at that pork belly. Ah, ooh.
Delicious.
And then we also have some shoulder, which is going to take a little bit longer than the belly, so we'll make sure to put that in first. So, lots of meat. Now, just as a kind of a note, for those that aren't familiar with sumo tradition and everything else that kind of goes along with it. So I'm using pork in this particular recipe this evening. Now that the tournament has started, the wrestlers will not eat pork or beef.
Really?
Because, and they'll only eat chicken as a meat in the whatever Chanko Nabe that they're eating. And the reason is because it's pigs and cows walk on 4 legs, whereas chickens walk on 2. And in sumo, if you end up on 4, you're out. And so it's, yeah, chicken only. Exactly. See, Alistair knows what's going on. So this is not, this recipe is not something that the wrestlers will be eating for the next 15 days.
But we're not wrestling.
But we're not wrestling. So there you go. Okay. Rice cooker's rice is ready. We are ready to get this party started.
Just, you know, the rice is a Japanese rice that's grown in Japan.
Yes.
It's not the cheapest rice, but
It is not.
straight up delicious.
But it is straight up delicious. Okay. So let's adjust the camera view.
Very cool. Alistair says they serve chicken at the events as a to the Rishiki.
Rikishi.
Rikishi.
Rikishi. I've got this camera on a mic arm, and so it can actually kind of watch it. All right, so this is, I don't have one of the super cool Nabe pots yet.
Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming. This is what I do have. Okay. Excuses. Okay, so let's get to making the broth base itself. The recipe as written calls for 1100 mils of water, and then they add in chicken bouillon powder.
Hey, Captain Happy Pants, yay!
What's going on?
Captain Happy Pants is here.
Yes, Captain Happy Pants has been here for a little while.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Avocado, we need to talk Christmas, because if he doesn't get that pan, I think he's going to be very upset. He's been wanting this pan for a very long time. So.
Alright, anyways, while they're talking, while I'm like messing around over here, instead of using plain water for this, I happen to have made, what was this, maybe a week or two ago, and then froze, a chicken stock
from
scratch, and recipe itself.
Can we switch the camera?
No, because I'm going to be walking over.
Because what?
The recipe that I kind of used together is based off of a really, really famous chicken ramen recipe from a super famous ramen chef by the name of Sano-san. So I decided to start off with the chicken stock as it is, and but I'm still going to add the bouillon powder.
Just to beef it up a little bit?
Just to kind of beef it up, and also in the bouillon powder itself is some of our favorite ingredients, MSG, and then the disodium inosinate and disodium gyanolate. I always mess up that second one. Gyanolate. Hey, I did get it right. Anyways,
words
it's on the back.
Hard.
It's listed on the back here. And the MSG and the ING work together to ratchet up the umami factor. So I've got a scale over here. And
he blinded me with science.
15 grams of the bouillon is what.
Elcat's here.
Who's here?
Elcat.
Oh, hey, what's going on? All right, so I got that. Spoon.
Gonna be one umami.
Basically.
He's gone to DEFCON 1.
All right. So yeah, the chicken bouillon powder that I'm using is Lee Kum Kee's chicken bouillon powder, which you can't see because right, there we go. It's a Lee Kum Kee brand, and the reason why I'm using this, besides the fact that I have it, is I couldn't find anywhere a listing that talks about what sort of bouillon powder, paste, etc. are available in Japan specifically. And the Lee Kum Kee bouillon base was what was used in the Japanese restaurant that I did my externship in during culinary school. So I'm like, you know what? If it's good enough for the sous chef, Chef Morimoto, it's good enough for me. So that's what I'm going with. Okay, next up
Right, you are the hero.
Right you are, Ken. Exactly. Lee Kum Kee is legit. All right. So next up, we need 70 grams of the akamiso. And I am doing that by the subtractive method.
Captain was asking, bouillon has MSG in it, yes?
Yes, this particular one does. It has MSG as well as the disodium inosinate and unilate. When MSG as well as the ion are in like a 50-50 ratio, shown that they work synergistically to have 8 times the umami, perceived umami, as just MSG or just the ING. Meaning that they're able to use less to much greater effect. Okay, so the akamiso is in.
Welcome back, Furious.
All
Yep.
right.
Broth. It's chicken stock. Made it for.
I made it for the Korean Army stew battle. All right, so that's good there.
Bonsai for that.
Let's see. Uzukuchi calls for 24 grams, it looks like. Okay. There we go. So 24 grams, just in case anybody is wondering, is about a tablespoon and a half, or 3/4 of an ounce.
You can see, but where he's got the scale.
Yeah, I've got my scale off camera, just over on my little prep table here. And then same for the mirin.
Next time, hold it with your hand on the other side, because all we got to see is your beautiful big hand. You have big, strong hands.
They look like big, strong hands. All right. I think. Oh, nope. Still got a little bit of mirin left.
Uzukuchi. Is that a real thing, or did you make that up?
No, it's a real thing.
What is it?
That's the name. It's the light soy sauce. I'll show you.
There it is.
See?
Light in color.
Uzukuchi. A genuine thing. Okay. Miso mirin. Okay, so that's it for the broth. The broth is good to go. And now the broth is at a boil, which is what we want. And then I'll turn it down just a little bit. So now in the video, now tray here, and I'm going to move just a little bit. First, add the carrot and the daikon. Since they technically need longer to cook. And there we go.
Furious Green's concerned your heat's too hot.
Initially came up, but then like if you watch the video, it's definitely like out of hold. I mean, turn it down, but I needed to bring it up to heat initially.
Plus, you're adding all these cold items.
Like all the the room temp veg and everything else is being put in, and so that dropped the temp pretty quickly. All right.
Thankfully, he knows what he's doing. Very
All
rarely
right.
does he mess up.
So, putting daikon in, then
Back to the
back, then the pork, then the onions. So now I'm just waiting for it to come back up. Okay. Go my crazy long chopsticks.
So, a fun story about these chopsticks. We got them because our
Korean student.
Jung Yoon wanted them for making ramen. We got, and he would make the ramen with them, and then he would eat with them in a little tiny ramen pot. So these I don't know, 18 inches long.
Yeah, easily.
Just hilarious.
Okay. Okay, let's turn the heat down a bit. Alright, so the pork is in. That's doing its thing. I've lots of pork belly here. So we can add some more if we want.
Pork belly's delicious.
It is. Okay. Belly in. Stirred. Okay. We go. Put back over here for the time being. Next
The last time he
up-
made this, he made these incredible chicken meatballs.
Yeah.
I think there's some in the freezer.
Yes, there is. But we were aiming to recreate the,
Oh, I know.
this
That'll
particular
be-
recipe.
That'll be leftovers.
Yes, that is correct. Monocon, quadcon radish, tricon radish. What? Oh, okay. Took me a second. I had to catch up.
Maybe there's a 20-sided radish.
A dodecahedron kind of radish.
Pickle. Chonk my nabe? No, chonk yo nabe. You said knob.
Okay. Onion is in.
This should cook fairly quickly since the meat's thin.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, the carrot and the daikon are going to take a bit. We want the onion to soften up. We want everything to soften up, really. All right, so that, and we're going to let that come back up. Let's see. So then we start adding the mushrooms, the Tokyo negi, and the chives. Okay.
You guys have any fun plans for tomorrow?
I know what we're doing.
Eating Chanko Nabe?
And watching the Basho.
Yeah. That's not on until nighttime, though.
Nap first. Then Basho.
Yeah. By the 2 weeks, we're just exhausted because we stay up so late. Like, oh, my head.
But it is so worth it. Okay. So that's back. Alright. We'll turn down. But start adding the mushrooms.
Yeah. Alistair, abandoned life, return to Basho.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
But you know what? I mean, if folks can, totally get into things like, the World Series and other kind of like sports tournaments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, basketball, why can't we have our sumo,
We can watch whatever we like. We're all grown up now.
That's true. Got stuff in the middle there. Okay. Mushrooms everywhere.
We will allow it.
Then the negi substitute, because
we couldn't make it.
I
We
couldn't
tried.
to that. It's a drive and it costs.
Yeah, we checked a couple of closer markets, but no luck.
No luck indeed. And then chive. Kind of thinking that might be good on the garlic chives right now.
It is.
Ooh,
one
I found
full
an errant
pot.
carrot. Something for me. Okay. So now, with this simmering, you push stuff down. Get it kind of nestled in there. You get back over in your quarter.
Camera's freaking out over your arm in the pot.
Oh, it's not.
No. Well, because it's focusing fantastic. It's just the problem is it's focusing on your arm and then it focuses back on the pot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Alistair. It is an absolutely full pot, but we're not done yet. We are not done yet. Okay, so that is in. I can feel the mushrooms have softened. The garlic chives have also started to soften. The wannabe negi have softened. Okay. Next up. Whole lot of Napa cabbage.
Yeah, this pot was bought here in town. The one you're talking about that he bought in Connecticut is smaller. This one's 3 or 4 quarts. I think it's 4 quarts.
This one I think is it's like 5+.
Yeah, it's huge in comparison.
So I'm gonna actually add some of the white in, since those.
We got it at one of the Asian markets.
All right, so that's in there. Then we get to add kind of a whole handful of spinach. And then let this
We need a
cook
bigger
down.
pot.
And precariously look at the level. So far, so good.
Should we switch to a stock pot?
No. The spinach will shrink quite a bit.
And the cabbage will too?
What the heck? I think we'll rinse this.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah, the cabbage will shrink. The spinach will shrink. Lots going on here.
Like a freaking turtle. It's rabbit stew.
We're just kind of pressing it down and letting everything.
I hope this is not like the exploding ice cream.
No sublimating ice.
Now, are you using this pot because this is really the only pot we had for this?
I'm using this pot because it's the biggest one that's got the sloped side. Because the square-sided pot's not quite right.
Okay.
All right. See how everything is shrunken down? Okay. Now,
we're going to have to teach you to be left-handed.
I guess so.
Because, yeah. Way better.
Okay. So that's simmering nicely. Everything is looking good. Everything is smelling quite good.
I've got a little bit of congestion, so I'm not quite smelling it.
So now we're going to hit it with garlic powder. And it's funny, in the video, he's got the shaker kind of like
I found that shaker when we were looking for the thingy.
No. The shaker that he's using is like this deep metallic blue.
Oh.
And it's filled with it was powder, at least. He may have said what it was in the video, but you know, I'm a big white boy who don't Japanese. I'm just
Curious Green. It's always one of those Mexican 20-quart stock pots that he saw at a Mexican bodega.
What is this?
A 20-quart stock pot.
Oh,
bigger.
Yeah, for like tamales and stuff.
How is that compared to that 151 quart we got? 52, 54 quart. Similar?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, he bought a giant one, which I was like, you're insane.
And then I used it.
And then you used it.
And then she said, oh, I get it.
Like, the Vitamix was sort of the turning point for me, because I was like, why are we spending that much money on a Vitamix? On a blender? But then he made me corn chowder soup. Ooh, I was like, okay, I trust you.
So that was the toasted ground up sesame seeds that we just added.
Color looks awesome.
Pinging me.
Boop. I could hear it bubbling. Can you guys hear it bubbling?
Alright, let's turn that down.
A number of us did not have faith that would all stay in the pot.
And that's okay. I would have won all the salt.
I bet 1,000 salt it was gonna spill.
Alright.
Oh, we should have done some polls for tonight.
Oh, we totally should
didn't even
have.
think about that.
Oh well.
You may have a bowl, Furious Green.
Totally.
What part of the world do you live in?
I offered to ship some up to Midnight Sumo.
Where's Midnight Sumo?
Canada. Somewhere.
Canadians.
Presumably.
I'm mostly quiet. Thanks for joining the Discord. New Jersey.
Oh, right on.
Very cool. I have been.
Oh.
Here, I will come sample.
It's
Yep.
almost as if Kirimaru knows what he's doing.
We will give a bowl to everyone.
Oh,
you just gotta come this direction. Amazon hasn't invented 2-hour delivery yet. Or, distance. Thank you.
Yeah. Give it a blow, but then give it a taste.
You're not muted. So good. Smells really good.
Right?
Excellent.
There we go.
Good job.
Right?
I can taste the mushrooms and yummy goodness. Look at all the dishes. Yay.
Not.
Okay, dishwasher's ready to go.
There we go. There's pork. There's a whole bunch of mushrooms. Then, of course, we got more of stuff. So then that way, as we plow through this.
Scott Connor, because you're in Virginia, is that right? West Virginia? North Carolina? You're over that direction. They have drones for burritos. Ooh.
That is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, see? I remember something. Looks fantastic.
And just because I do it to tick off Dong Young, I got mismatched chopsticks. He hated when I did that.
He always wanted the chopsticks to match, and we're like, why? But who cares?
But who cares?
Give him chopsticks that didn't match. Wow. It does look amazing. I love the dark from the garlic chives.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And then you've got the yellow from the Napa cabbage.
Yeah. This is super tasty. This is really, really, really good. If you have the ability, I say do it.
And if you can't find certain mushrooms, you could use button mushrooms or komimi. Like, it doesn't have to be this type.
Love all the colors it looks like. Yeah. Yes, there is in fact rice, Lumpy.
Do you put the rice, is it on the side or?
The rice is usually, well, the answer is yes to everything. Because, so rice will be served like off to the side, but then rice is also like will be mixed into the soup at the very end. And of course I made, the good rice. The rice that's actually grown in Japan. Found it online. I forget what the name of it is, but it's the variety is Golden Koshihikari, and it's a rice that's actually grown in Japan, which is kind of amazing because most of the Japanese rice that one can buy here in the States is actually grown in California. And in fact, a lot of that rice that's grown in California is actually exported to Japan.
It's called Ayanishiki.
Ayanishiki?
Yes. Here's a picture. He sent me we were hoping I could pick some up when I went deep into the heart of Portland. Here. Sorry, ring light. There we go. This is the Japanese rice.
Yeah.
It's not the worst price per bag.
It's not the worst, but
I want to say it's, what, $30 a bag?
30, 35. But if I was eating rice on a daily basis, it would be cost prohibitive. However, It is fantastic. And to be honest, it's one of those things that I never thought I could taste the difference between straight up plain rice, because there's no salt in this whatsoever. It's literally the rice and the water, and that's it. However, this stuff has a amazing flavor to it for some of the other Japanese rices that I've had. The flavor is just crazy. And I mean, people who do like wine are, super familiar with the concept of terroir, but
I got a big bowl.
Okay, cool.
Because, let's be honest.
On the rice.
To be honest, this is pretty low.
Yeah. Well, so the California stuff, yeah. The California rice that I was getting was called Matsuri. Matsuri. A mostly white bag. Kind of looks like a landscape that goes across it. It's a golden koshi hikari that's grown in California. They produce just a white and also a semi-brown. And the semi-brown is excellent.
Yeah, I need
Actually, the white's great too. I'm just moving the... Pushing everything down into the pot.
And it didn't spill.
Big old piece of pork.
Where's the rice spatula?
Right.
Thanks.
Normally I balance it on top of the rice cooker.
Yeah. Kind of odd.
In the event that Kirimaru-san ever should see this video, I hope he's pleased with my efforts.
I think you've done a good job. I'm pleased with your efforts.
I know I'm pleased with them. This is fantastic.
I wish we could share a bowl with everyone.
No, seriously. I mean, had
awesome.
Homitsu not had an online class, she was invited.
Yeah.
So she would have been here to enjoy this.
Although I did see her in the stream earlier.
Yeah.
Midnight Sumo stream.
Yeah. But she's got a class that she's got to do, so.
I was saying we've invited Happy Baddie a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm kind of glad home didn't come because I didn't want to clean. Our house is crazy, but people come over. You got to make it look better.
It doesn't matter, baby. Kaboom!
Yeah, seriously. I mean, this especially is the type of meal that you want to share with folks, like it's meant to be. And especially like, when it's sumo tournament time, That's quite hot.
I'm using a Korean soup spoon.
That is straight up delicious. Okay. Well, it's been fun, folks. Thank you everyone for coming along. I mean, pretty short stream for this, but that was kind of by design because, the tournament's on. And we want to watch sumo.
When will you be back?
Yeah. Whoop. Hey, look, my stove. Yeah. So for those that I will see tonight sumo stream, will be there short. In fact, I plan on running into him because honestly, I would ask if you've never watched sumo before, hang out for 5-10 minutes to kind of get a gist of everything that's going on. The Midnight Sumo chat is pretty amazing. They're a bunch of degens in the best way possible.
It's growing fast,
and
though.
it's growing faster. Plus, to mention the fact that if you have any question about anything that's going on, they're incredibly knowledgeable and very willing and solid. It's been one of the most welcoming chats that I've ever been anywhere. But they're definitely like our kind of degens. So we absolutely love it. So we're gonna go raid over into Midnight Sumo, provided of course that it actually lets me raid.
Yeah. Yesterday I was being disagreeable.
So first and foremost, there's the raid message. But yeah, so we're gonna go raid into Midnight Sumo. And okay, yeah, so it looks like Alistair, I'm assuming we're in, let's see, what time is it? 6:40. We're probably at Division 4 at the moment, I'm guessing.
Just so you know, there's...
Okay, Sandame, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, there's 5 divisions.
We're gonna go do that, so let me...
The second division is the fun one where you get to bet your...
Yeah. But, honestly, there is fantastic sumo in all of the divisions. It just gets more and more hyped as you like work up the chain. But
Yeah.
definitely hang these 5-10, see what's going on. It should be a good one. So I will catch all y'all over in that chat. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. We'll be back Monday doing something. Probably the cake. Now that I have the sour cream. So,
Hey.
all right, we'll see y'all Monday.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?